Hey everybody, and welcome to Aquaponics. In this video I'm going to show you how I built my indoor aquaponics system using a 15-gallon fish tank and 3-inch PVC pipe. So keep watching and I'll show you how I did it. Okay, so I'm going to start by using these 3-inch PVC tubes. It was 10 feet long. I cut it in half to 5 feet each so that I could actually just fit them in my truck to bring it home. It was a lot easier at the time, so I didn't film that, but that's what it is. They're 10 feet long, so if you cut them in half you can get 2, and if you cut those in half again, obviously you can get 4 shorter ones and do 4 of what I'm doing instead of 2, just shorter. But what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to make a cut every so many inches all the way up these, and then I'm going to heat them up and I'm going to bend the plastic out and in at the top, like out at the bottom and in at the top a little bit, so that I can fit my net pots right in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to calculate how big around my net pots, like the circumference is, so that I know how big of a cut to make in these, because I'll just basically cut that number in half, and that's how long this cut will want to be, so that you can get them to fit in there properly without falling out or going all the way through. You don't want to make them too big or they won't fit. So I actually didn't come up with this method. I seen this in a video. I'll put a link to it down in the description below and all that. You can check out basically where I got the idea from. I just thought it was a really good idea, so I'm kind of utilizing that, and I'm going to be combining that with my fish tank. And these tubes are going to sit up here like this and hang down into the fish tank. Pretty simple. You could pretty well do it with any fish tank, and I already have mine on a stand, and basically that whiteboard that goes up there is where the tubes are going to hang from. It's not very difficult. It's actually pretty simple, so if you already have a stand, you could probably fasten something to it like that, or just kind of improvise, but you want to make sure it's solid because you have something that's hanging on it with water, and obviously you don't want to make a mess. Okay, so now that I've got all those cut out and I have my net pots all fitting nicely, I still have to sand these up a little bit, but to get the next bit of this going, I am going to take some zip ties, just like these. I used white just because these are white. If you want to use black, you can really use whatever you want. It's kind of up to you. And I drilled a couple holes. As you can see, there's one here. Where is it? Yeah, see there's a hole right here and a hole right here. There you go, you can see that a little better. So I'm going to just put a zip tie right through here, and then it's going to come up and over. I'm going to use 2 of them because these ones are a little bit smaller. So I'm going to put 2 of them, and I'm going to double everything up just to make sure everything's plenty strong enough. So to start, the first one will just feed right through here, like this. And then the second one is going to go through like that. There, and now it can hang right off of this, and then I'm just going to cut off these little tails on each side of the zip tie right there. And that gives a decent little kind of a hanging point for everything to work on. So what I'm going to do, cut those off. And, I'm losing some net pots, but okay, I have everything hanging up here now, and as you can see, I just have it hanging from a couple of hooks that have nuts and washers on them, just to make sure that there's lots of strength and nothing can fall. And I can now get started on hooking up the pump, the air stone, and making sure that I have the right filtration and everything for my system. So I've run my water line, and it turns out that the pump that I got off Amazon, which just happened to be a little wee tiny thing like this, which I kind of expected to be a little bit bigger than it was. It won't really lift the water the height that I'm going, so I am going to use a pump that I already have. It's a little bit bigger, obviously quite a bit bigger than the other one, but I need to get a new fitting to go from this to the 1/4 inch water line that I have going up to feed both of my towers. So I'm gonna have to do that, and then I can finish this video. Okay, so it's been about a week or so since I've actually had a chance to sit and work on this. Just had stuff on the go, so sorry if I miss anything, but I've got a new pump because the one that I had was just too small. Remember this thing? So now I have this one, and I also picked up some water line that I'm going to be using to run my water up to the top into 2 drip lines, and that's going to feed all the plants in these towers basically. So I'm going to get that hooked up, and I'll show you guys exactly what it looks like when it's done. Okay, so I've got my water line run. It's just sitting in there for now, not fastened. I want to test it all out first and make sure everything's good and has no problems. Then I'm going to fasten it, and I can start working on my biofilter, which I'll explain a little bit more when I do that. But at this point I need to put a little bit of water in here and I can start this up, so we'll see how it works. Alright, let's test it out and see. So as you can see, it's all running. The water flow is a little weaker than I would like, but I'm going to see if I can do a couple things just to fix that. However, this is still not too bad. Kind of trickles out, but it's sort of to be expected because I'm running into 1/4 inch little drip lines up there, so you won't get a substantial amount of water flow anyway. Okay, so I have my tube strapped in. As you can see, I have a gear clamp around there. There's just a staple behind that, like an electrical staple, and I wrapped it around the tube and the staple together so it holds it on there. I have one there and one there. I may put another one at the top just to hold that in a little bit better, but I'm not sure yet. And I had the bell end of these pipes left, so I put those on to kind of extend it a little closer to the water, and that got rid of the splashing. And now I have my air stones in here. And one of these I'm going to be using to put my biofilter on top of, and what that does is it just oxygenates an area that has very high surface area so that I can convert all the ammonia from the fish into the nitrates that my plants need to grow, essentially. So I'm going to do that, and I'll do one more little clip, and I'm pretty well ready for fish. Okay, so I've finished things up as far as I can go at this point. I have to wait for a couple weeks for some of the parts I need for my biofilter to come in, so I'm going to do that in a separate video. But what I have done here now is I've shortened the larger water line that I have, and I've ran 2 longer drip lines up to the top, just so I'm not trying to lift as much water, and I've found that's kind of helped the water flow a little bit, which is what I was hoping for. You can see there's a few drips down the sides of the pipe, but those are just from me setting stuff up and messing around. I had a couple of little leaks in the corners of the net pots. It was just where I had the water running down the inside, and I think I've pretty well got everything fixed up that way. It's just a matter of letting it run for a bit to test it out. And once I get my biofilter, I'll do another clip and show everybody how all that is together. And I'm going to do a video of actually making it, just because then you guys can see how that works and what they are. But at this point, this is all I can really do, so hope everybody likes it, and thanks for watching my video. If you want to see more of what I'm doing, make sure to rate, share, subscribe, and hit the little notification button so you guys can see when all the new ones come out. And as always, thanks for watching, and take care.